All right, we need to capture what you did in the military based off of your annual performance reports. That information needs to be completely demystified and translated into civilian language. You're going to use all of your performance reports, and you're going to take these one by one, and you're going to copy and paste your bullets into ChatGPT, translate it to civilian language, and put your hardest hitting stuff on your LinkedIn experience section underneath each appropriate duty title. Right now, our main focus is just taking all of this information that we've gotten over all of the years serving in the military and getting it captured, putting it on a Word document, and then from that Word document, putting it on LinkedIn after it's gone through ChatGPT and it's been translated. So all we're going to do from this point forward is we're just going to copy all of these bullets. Okay, pro tip, especially Air Force. I can't speak for the other branches, but once you sign these things, they get locked. So what you got to do is go back to your EPR. If you have Windows, down here, you're going to have this little search bar. I'm not sure what it would look like on a Mac, but you're going to type in snipping tool. Now on snipping tool, what you're going to do is you're going to press new. Now this allows me to highlight all of my different bullets. Got it. File, save as, name it whatever you can to find this back. Then we're going to hop on Google and we're going to pull this up. I'm going to leave the link to this site below. You can upload 3 images for free, or you can do the premium thing and then upload 50 images at once. That's entirely up to you. I just used the free version. Okay, there's that. And all it's doing is taking the image and it's doing what is called takes that text from the image and makes it to where you can edit it. So we'll submit. And outstanding. There we go. Now I can copy and paste my bullets. And what I'm going to do from this point is I'm going to put them in a Word doc. Okay, so we got our Word doc up. So Control V for paste. There you go. There's your bullets. So on this same Word doc, what I want you to do is I want you to type duty title. Now, with your most current duty title, I was a senior enlisted career counselor. I did that for 3 years. So my duty title is going to be senior enlisted career counselor. So what you do from here is you kind of just wash, rinse, repeat. You got to take your bullets, and I'm going to go through all 3 years of my annual performance reports as a career counselor. I'm going to get all of these bullets. I'm going to go right back to this Word doc and I'm going to paste them all in here. Once you've done that one duty title and you've gone back the 3 years, you've got all your bullets in there. Every previous duty title that you had before that, the concept is the exact same, and it should kind of end up looking like a document like this. So career counselor, all of those bullets that I had over 3 years, right? Now, I think this is also a great point to stop right here and talk to you about the importance of innovation while you are still active duty. I think it's probably best, instead of just to talk about innovation, is to show you what it actually looks like. So with that said, I got some help. Daughter Avery, you want to say hi?
Hi!
And this is her buddy Kennedy.
Hi!
So we are going to smash an egg. This is going to symbolize your resume bullet. You got to have an action. So in this case, the girls have hammers, right? What are you going to do with those hammers? You're going to smash those eggs, right? That's your action. So which tool broke the egg faster?
This tool.
Which one?
This
right.
tool.
The metal one, right? So what about the plastic one? It still broke the egg though, right?
Yeah.
And it broke it pretty daggone good. But you had to smack on it a few times, right? Mm-hmm. So as you notice with the plastic spoon, we got the job done. We cracked the egg, right? But there was a much better way, a much faster way to do it, and that was with that metal meat cleaver. You should always have, at minimum, 2 things on your mind, and that is your action and that is your impact. I like to take it a step further and say, what is your result? So in our case, the action was we took that hammer and we smacked down on that egg. The impact was what happened to that egg when we smashed it. What happened to that egg? Well, it broke to pieces. What was the result? And this is why I like result, because now we can get even more into the weeds. Well, the result was that it made a giant mess across my entire table, and the kids loved it, right? Increased morale. The entire point of this video, other than just getting to hang out with my kiddos, is that the more innovative you are, the bigger your impact is going to be. And you need to be able to plan these things months ahead. The most innovative people I have ever met are the ones that know their jobs inside and out. But not only are they experts at their jobs, they're also experts with people. So once you become that person and you're really good with your folks, right? You're a leader. They trust you. There's communication going. You can actually sit down with them and then finally start talking about innovation. So how to save time? How do you save money? How do you save equipment cost? How do you reallocate manpower to something else to make X, Y, or Z better? And they come to you if they need you to go put out fires, or if they have a question about something, you're there to have their back. Now, when you consistently do this over a 4, 6, 10, 20-year career, these achievements start stacking on top of each other. And the next thing you know, you've got a pile of annual performance reports with quantifiable stuff that you can throw into a civilian resume that's going to make you stand out light years ahead of the competition. All right, so let's head over to our next step. So you should have all of your information, all your bullets, right? From your most current duty title all the way down. This one goes to 10 years, but you can go further than that if you want to. So all you're going to do now is you're going to take these bullets and we're going to put them in ChatGPT. Now, if you're just hearing about ChatGPT, you've probably been living under a rock, but that's okay. They're by OpenAI. And then if you scroll down a little bit, you can see try ChatGPT. If you don't have an account, you'll have to create one real quick, and that's okay. This is free. But the point here is we are going to now copy and paste some of these bullets. So I think a good one to start with is what I did with SkillBridge Network. I did this while I was still on active duty. And essentially, in a nutshell, eased military transitions globally by hosting 100,000 SkillBridge questions and answers on Facebook Live. And awarded Command's Best Force Development Flight of 21. This specific bullet was from one of my first EPRs. We actually won back-to-back. So 3 years in a row at the major command level, which is basically unheard of because the entire team was just super innovative. All right, so in ChatGPT, let's throw our bullet in, come back to the beginning, and all you're going to say here is, please translate this bullet from my military performance report into civilian language. Please ensure it is in resume format. Okay, so as you can see, it's taking my information and it's translating it. However, what you'll notice is that if you have a bullet that has a ton of acronyms in it, and yes, this is going to understand Q&A. It's probably going to understand NCO, senior NCO. It's probably going to understand like very, very basic acronyms that we use in the military. But once you start getting more and more defined in those acronyms and they start getting more complex, it's not going to know that. So as you can see, I got these two bullets here. All I'm going to say at this point, if you're not familiar with how AI works or ChatGPT, you got to learn how to prompt. So this isn't in resume format, in my opinion. It needs to be consolidated, it needs to be combined, it needs to be beefed up. So I'm just going to say, please combine these two bullets. Now there you go. I think that this is a good spot to just copy and paste it. You have all of your information in there, and the more information that you have, the better. This is when you are going to open a separate and new Word document. So if you look at the last one, all my last 10 years experience, none of that's been translated, but I want a separate Word document that's going to have all of my translated bullets so I can just grab them and tailor them as needed so I can create targeted resumes to apply for specific jobs. So there we go. Just like in the other one, name this as, in my case, Career Counselor Bullets. And then on this one, I'm going to say translated. Okay, now it's simply wash, rinse, repeat. This is going to take some time, but this is one of those things that if you spend the time and you do this correctly, it's going to pay massive dividends in the long run, because you're going to have that master resume that's going to have all of this quantifiable data. So what's going to happen is when you apply for a job, and this rule is the same across the entire spectrum, whether you're applying on LinkedIn, on Indeed, Monster Jobs, Facebook, it doesn't matter. If you have a master resume and you're sending that specific resume out to a whole bunch of different job applications, you're probably not going to get picked up. Here's why. Qualifications. Boom. And then in addition to the above qualifications, this is like what you have to be considered. In addition to the above qualifications, the successful candidate will demonstrate, and these are have to have and really niceties. Like, we would really like somebody to have this as well. So what you got to think about is if you have this one master resume and you're blasting this thing out, it is not in any way, shape, or form going to meet the keywords that are in the job qualifications, which you need to have for this specific job. And none of these are the same. So when you submit your resume, it's going to go to what's called an applicant tracking system. It's this automatic thing that can weed out your resume if you haven't listed the correct qualifications. So you've got to have a tailored resume, and it has to be based off of this language. So hopefully that makes sense to you, why you can't just blast out a resume. You have to have targeted stuff. And it's another really great reason why you should really do this deep dive, so you know what you did, what is your value. And the earlier you watch this in your career, the better, just like that egg example. So that way you have more time to innovate. Okay, so moving on, let's grab another bullet here. I want to grab something that has a ton of acronyms. This is what this bullet actually is. So successfully established the base's first ever STAR program, which is just a storage tank type whatever, because I was fuels. So inspecting 28 fuel tanks, 726 items, and aligning our $149 million fuel infrastructure site with the South Dakota, which is environmental regulations. So it says, establish the base's first ever systematic tracking of aging and reporting STAR program, and oversaw the inspections of 28 tanks, 726 items. And it actually got South Dakota Department of Environmental and Natural Resources correct. So I'm actually really shocked by that. I'm not shocked by this. So here's the point. You are going to have so many acronyms. And ChatGPT, sure, I mean, what we just saw, it actually did a pretty good job, but there is no way it's going to be able to translate all of them. And that is exactly why I think it is smart to take your bullet that's not translated, throw it in ChatGPT, get the civilian translation, but before you do this, you're going to say, please spell out the acronyms. So what I would do in this case is I would spell out what dinner, actually I don't need to do dinner, I would spell out what STAR is, and then say, please revise it, and it's going to output your bullet again, and this time with no acronyms. So as you do that with every one of your bullets, you're eventually going to have something that looks like this. A whole bunch of information. It's super quantifiable, and you can take all of this stuff, and I'm going to highlight it. I'm going to copy it. I'm going to go back to ChatGPT, and I'm going to say, can you write a hard-hitting resume summary for my LinkedIn experience section using the following information? Please limit to, I don't know, let's say 3 paragraphs max. Author this as if you are the best resume writer in existence. My duty title was, this is where you are going to put in your specific duty title for all of those translated bullets. However, I'm going to put in senior enlisted career counselor. So what you do is you just take this, and if you're happy with what it puts out, go ahead and just copy and paste that. However, from my experience, you got to prompt it a few more times. Obviously, 3 paragraphs is way too much. So I'm going to say, please revise and limit to 3 sentences. All right, so if you're happy with that, I think length is probably about right where it needs to be. You could probably even make it a little shorter and more hard hitting. Make sure that it really captures all of your quantifiable information in this paragraph. And you're going to have to prompt it a few times to get to that, what makes you happy. But for now, I'm just going to say I'm good with this. I'm going to go over to LinkedIn. Okay, so once I'm on LinkedIn, I'm just going to click my profile here, and then I'm going to scroll down to my experience section. So right now I'm working on senior enlisted career counselor. I'm not actually going to copy and paste this. I've gone through and I spent probably a full day. I would say probably close to 16 hours going through all of my records and then making sure everything was perfect in my LinkedIn profile. But the point is, I'm going to copy and paste what I just got out of ChatGPT right here. That's my summary. And then I'm going to say accomplishments. And I'm going to ask ChatGPT to give me some bullets. I have my summary, and which is great, but what did you do in that job? Let's go right back to the egg example again. What makes you better than the other person? How are you innovative? What are you doing that is impactful? What's going to separate you from everybody else? And that's innovation. So let's ask ChatGPT, please author 2 very hard hitting resume bullets based off of the information I posted above. Okay, so the whole point here is make sure that you pick 2 of your hardest hitting bullets. There's not much sense in putting something in there that doesn't show that you weren't innovative or whatever. So grab the most quantifiable stuff that has the biggest impact, that's the most hard hitting, and that's what you're going to want to put underneath of your accomplishment section right here. So when somebody comes and looks at your profile, just like I talked about in the other videos, they look at your profile photo, they look at your profile banner, they look at your headline, they look at your about section, and they're going to come down possibly, and they're going to look at your experience section. And in this experience section, it's going to have your summary. And not only is it going to have your summary, it's going to have hard-hitting, quantifiable information that you have actually parsed, if you will, taken from all of your military performance reports. Okay, pro tip. Go to Jobs, click on Resume Builder, create from profile. I'll just use Project Manager again. Project Manager. Apply. And now you have all of these keywords that the LinkedIn algorithm actually uses whenever recruiters are trying to find project managers. So the point here is that you would take these keywords and then add them to your skills section, and that's going to be in our next video. But you're also going to sprinkle them throughout your summary, right? You're going to sprinkle them throughout your headline. You're going to sprinkle these throughout your accomplishments that I showed you earlier. So let's wrap this up. This is the most comprehensive thing that you are probably going to do whenever it comes to resume writing. This is a lot of work, but it's going to pay massive dividends. And that's the basics of this. Once you figure out how to do this the first time, all of the other ones that you do are going to be mega easy, but it is time consuming. So what you do now is as you build your LinkedIn profile, just make sure you go at the most current duty title to your oldest, right? So mine's founder and director of SkillBridge Network. And then I was a senior enlisted career counselor. And before that, I was a fuels operations superintendent. And then another one, business owner. And you're going to keep going down the list all the way until you join the military. I've read that you only need to go back 10 years on LinkedIn, and on federal jobs, you go back the entire 20 or whatever. If somebody knows the real answer to that, because I'm not sure, leave a comment below. As you add your experience, each one of these is going to have a date. And then each one of these dates is going to correspond with your annual performance report. So that's all you're doing. You're getting your dates from this. You populate your LinkedIn profile, and then you just follow the steps that I'm teaching in this video. So the final and probably most important step is, after you've done all of this work, is to get a mentor on American Corporate Partners or 4Block or Veterati, create a profile, and link up with somebody that's going to say, hey, your LinkedIn profile is on point, or you need to do some tweaks here or there and there and there and there. The whole point of this entire LinkedIn masterclass is just get your information into the system so that way it can be tweaked with you and a mentor. That's all I got for now. I hope that this video helps you. Please consider liking and subscribing. I'm finally up to 1.32 thousand subscribers. It's taken forever to get here. It's been so much work. I would really appreciate it. I have an entire list of videos in here to where I'm doing the same thing that I'm doing with this video, but with different concepts. How to network. What does vet tech mean? How to use LinkedIn and AI together to get a better profile. How to network. That's key right there. And what the heck is DoD Skill Bridge? I've got an entire course on that. So you can take all of this information and you can start using it at your level to start teaching junior enlisted service members. So that way, by the time they separate or retire from the military, they're ready to rock and roll, and we can help fix this veteran underemployment gap. It's been awesome. We'll see you guys in the next video.